Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man Drutube, and I'm back at you again with another video. Let's get right into it. When things don't go as planned, it's God's plan, because as his child, he wants nothing but the best for you. Let's discuss this. When there are things that we want to go as planned, sometimes they don't work out for us because it's God's plan. And not everything that you want to happen or to take place is going to go the way you want it to go. Sometimes things don't always work out the way we want it to work out. We put a lot into trying to get what we want. All right, we will study for things, we'll apply for things, we'll take time to invest in ourselves, and we'll really work hard and really go in with what we're trying to accomplish. Some of us really wanted this particular thing. Some of us were really hoping that this would happen for us. And I understand, trust and believe. You're working towards something. You got your mind on something. It's like it's like going out to eat and you have your palate fixated on a particular type of dish. And it's like, oh, that chef's not in tonight, or oh, we're closed, or oh, we're out of that. And you're like, what do you mean you're out of that? That's my favorite meal. That's what I had my palate fixated on. That's what I had my mind set on. All right, I had my food heart set on this particular kind of meal. All right, shout out to all the foodies out there. I know you got a food heart. All right, it gets hurt from time to time, but that's okay. That meal will still be there. All right, you will eat again. All right, but I just use that as an example because when you have your mind, it could be anything, it could be food, it could be whatever you have your mind fixated on, when it doesn't come to pass, when you don't get it, sometimes you feel some type of way about it. And you're like, why me, God? Why? I just wanted this, or I just wanted that, or I'm just trying to improve my life and make it better than what it is. And sometimes it is what it is. Sometimes you don't get what it is that you were going for. All right. Sometimes you plan things out. You try to make them go according to plan the best as you can, but sometimes those things just stay away from you. Sometimes you don't get what it is that you're working towards. And what I've realized, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have realized it too, that when there are things that you don't get or something that you really wanted, it may not be for you. Sometimes we get so caught up in a thing or going to a particular place or having something being done a particular way that we forget that there are powers at be at hand. So it's like we really have our heart set on this kind of thing or doing a particular thing without realizing that it may not have been for us. There may be something better out there for us to experience. But you know how the mind works. If you're anything like me, when you want something, you kind of want it. When you want to achieve something, when you're working towards something, when you've done the best you can and put yourself in position to be able to have what it is you want, or it could be when you really feel that you deserve something. It could be that you really feel that you deserve something. It could be something that you want very bad. All right, it could be something that you've been trying to do. Maybe it's a particular job position that you've been applying for, and you, no matter what, they're just not trying to bring you on board. All right, at first it was a particular certificate. You went and got the certificate. Now it's qualifications. Now you went and got certified, went and got qualified. Now it's uh, they are possibly considering somebody else for the position. All right, now you went and did everything you could possibly do to to have yourself get chosen or picked for this position, and they still decided not to go with you. All right. Maybe it could be everything that you needed to get a particular vehicle or a particular home. You done went and got your credit right. You done went and got this right, that right. Finances in order. They're still not trying to grant you this loan, or they're just not trying to give you the title, or they're just not trying to sell it to you. All right. They're just not trying to sell you that car. They're just not trying to sell you this home. They're just not trying to do what it is you need them to do for you. All right, maybe it's someone that you need to help you. They have a certain level of expertise. All right, you done paid this, you done got the money to pay the person. All right, you done called them, set up a time and date, and maybe they flunked on you, maybe they switched up on you, maybe they changed up on you, maybe they said this is something that they don't feel comfortable doing anymore, and you're like, what, wait a minute? And it said maybe it might even be at the last second, and this is something that you needed direly to get further in something that you're working towards, something that you want to be. Maybe it's a project you need to learn how to do some editing, or you need to learn how to do some digital work or something like that, something digitally. All right, maybe it's some program you need help running, and this was the person to do it, you thought. All right, we all think that when we come across something, when we come across someone, when we come across a certain position or a certain job or certain home or car or something that we are interested in, we think that's it. We have our minds fixated on it. It's something that we really desire, something that we really want, and then life is just like, nope. But usually when life says no, if you are still willing to move forward, sooner or later, God's going to bring a yes through. And that yes may be for something that you didn't want. That yes may be something new. That yes may even be for another opportunity. But if you open up your eyes and look at it clearly, and you really see what's happening right in front of your face, that God wanted to help you out with something better. God wanted to do something a little bit more for you than you could potentially do for yourself. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes we really have our mind set on something, and then God's plan comes into place. Because you could plan something out all you want. You could plan things out, the day, the hour, the time, the minute, the seconds. You can have all the balloons and everything, and then boom, it rains, and then nobody shows up. You could plan at, like Andre 3 Stack said, Andre 3000. He said you could plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. All right, shout out. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. All right, that was that song. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Andre 3000, Big Boy. All right, a classic song, classic album. AT Aliens. If you haven't heard it, you must be living under a rock, or maybe hip hop's just not for you. But that's a very classic album. You should definitely go check that out. But you could plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. All right. That's always something that stuck out to me after I heard that song. You can plan for whatever it is you want. You could plan to have a good day, a great day, an awesome week, a great week. You could plan things out as to the best of your ability, but sometimes things change. And people are afraid of change. People don't welcome change. You have to become the type of person that does not fear change and that welcomes change. All right. When you're working towards success and you want to become something greater, there's always going to be opportunities that present themselves. And then for whatever reason, the opportunity is just not there anymore. All right, maybe the person chose someone else. Maybe they, who knows? They could have even passed away on you. All right, God forbid. But if you listen to Les Brown, some of the people that he actually made agreements, talk numbers, talk business, solidified it, and then he went to call some people and they had passed on. So anything could happen in this game called life. So it's like you just have to be prepared. But the thing is, when things happen, don't automatically get somber about it. All right, things happen, we get thrown off track. They don't happen the way we want it to happen. Our good seems to be taken from us. Our good seems to be snatched away. But when you get caught up in that realm of thought, like, oh no, my good has been taken from me, more things are going to seem like they're going away from you because that's what you're accepting. And also it's going to kind of like seal your fate as far as like anything good coming to replace it for this opportunity. And this is why I stress having an optimistic mindset, because if you can have an optimistic mindset, if you can have the type of mindset that in the midst of hell you can call heaven down, if you can have the type of mindset that I'm still going to look for the best, even in the presence of the worst, then a lot of good can still come to you in your life. And this isn't just some fly talk. This isn't just something to make you feel good. Not only should this make you feel good, but it should make you feel great, because there's still opportunities out there for you, and possibly even better ones. So while you're working towards achieving what it is that you want to achieve, when doors close, you still have to see opportunities being able to present themselves to you. You still have to see jobs being open for you. They tell you no, somebody's going to tell you yes. They don't want to hire you, somebody's going to hire you. That's just the mindset that you have to have. If someone tells you no, if someone denies you, if someone declines you, if someone says you're not what they're looking for, if someone says you're not the person they're taking interest in, all right, if someone says they're going elsewhere with their business, if someone's no longer trying to be a client, if someone appreciates your business but they don't want to provide you services, you can't look at that like it's the end all be all, because it's not. You can't look at yourself like, okay, woe is me. No one wants to do this. No one wants to help me. There's nothing out there for me. That's going to set you up for depression. A lot of people don't realize it, but they're creating their own depression. They're setting themselves up for a self-achieved, self-proclaimed failure. It's like you're proclaiming failure, and that's what you're going to achieve when you accept a pity mindset for yourself. When you accept a pity mindset for yourself, when you're in self-pity, you're also being petty with yourself and to yourself. Self-pittiness is also self-pettiness. It's like you're being petty to yourself, you're being immature to yourself, you're not opening up your mind and allowing yourself to see other opportunities. It's like, okay, this didn't work, nothing's going to work for me. And we've all been there. All right, trust and believe. I've been there. All right. When things don't work out and you put blood, sweat, and tears into a thing, yo, you're ready to go self-pity mode. All right, you're ready to get your woe is me on. I understand. But that's just not the route to take, and that's not the route you have to take. Your success is not for the weak-hearted. All right. Living is not for the weak-hearted. All right. Success is not for the weak-hearted, and living is not for the weak-hearted. You might want to grab a piece of paper and write those two things down at the same time. All right. Living is not for the weak-hearted, and success is not for the weak-hearted. You have to be open-minded when it comes to having a greater vision for yourself. You can't be closed-minded and think that you're going to make it that way, because there's going to be opportunities that seem like it was right in your net. All right, you catch a fish, it's right in your net, and then the fish hops out, and then it seems like you don't have anything to eat. But if you're able to keep fishing and you don't give up, then an opportunity will present itself. You will catch another fish. But people tend to look at things and situations. People tend to look at things like that's the end. They tend to look at things like there's nothing else good that could happen to them. And I understand, but that type of mindset is going to cut you off from greater things. That type of mindset is going to cut you off from experiencing the level of success that you could truly get. Like, I know how hard it is and frustrating it is to be turned down. All right, you're filling out applications, you're looking for a job. All right, maybe you do sales, maybe you're going door to door. Nobody's buying your product. Nobody seems interested in what you have to sell. It seems like nobody wants to do business with you. These are things that people who are working towards a better life experience. And you have to realize that just because you're experiencing this now, it doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. All right. The end all be all for you should always be a positive outcome. When things don't work out, you have to view it as this is just something that I'm currently going through. That's the best way, because you have to see yourself as a work in progress, because if you don't, you will end up depressed. People end up because situations don't work out, People will tell themselves a whole list of negative statements and then expect, after you beat yourself up, you expect yourself to get up, continue to go out, continue to strive, continue to move forward and achieve success. That's not going to happen the way you think. When you beat yourself down, you're breaking yourself down. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to work your way out of that slump, because a lot of people don't understand. But when things don't work out and they end up getting sad or depressed or end up getting in a slump, they put themselves in it. It's like when somebody knocks somebody out, like boom, like they'll say that person got slumped. What you don't realize is when you go hard on yourself for somebody else not seeing in you what they should have, or somebody else telling you no, or you're upset because you know you gave your best effort and you still got turned down. When you beat yourself up for those things, you basically like are obliterating yourself, and you're crushing your own spirit. You're taking your own self out, and then expecting yourself to be able to get up, go produce, go be productive, and go manifest some positive things in your life. But that can happen, but it's not going to immediately happen like if you were to be turned down and have an open mindset, an optimistic mindset. So you have to keep an open mind when you're working towards your goals, because there are just going to be things that you plan that just do not go the way you planned it. All right. Not everything that's planned goes according to plan. And when things don't go as planned, it's God's plan. All right. You are his child. He only wants the best for you. God knows God knows what's already going to happen to you. He knows what you were going to do before you got here. He knows what was going to happen to you, what was going to take place in your life, all the people you're going to meet, all the things you're going to experience. God already knows that. So when things don't work out according to your plan, you have to have faith. You have to have faith. All right, the people who pray, people who have faith, people who don't give up on accomplishing goals and knowing what they want, they can have it. And what they want is not only out there for other people, but out there for themselves as well. Those are the people who live their life according to God's plan, because we can do things for ourselves, but sometimes it's not going to work out. You could try something all you want to the best of your ability to make something work, but just sometimes it's just not going to give. And just because it doesn't give doesn't mean you should give up. Just because you got turned down doesn't mean you should just turn it all away. Turn yourself down. Give up. Not continue to believe in yourself. And that's really what it's about. All right. If you can believe in anything when it comes to things not working out your way. Maybe you believe in yourself and you feel that you can still create an opportunity. Maybe you believe in God and you think that just because my plan didn't work doesn't mean God's plan is not going to work. And you're not the only one that has a plan for you. All right, God has imagined and planned great success for you. He even says it in the Bible. All right, God has imagined and planned great success for you. All right, that may not be the exact scripture, but there's a verse in the Bible that says God has planned great success for you. God has imagined great success for you. All right, God has an idea of giving you great success. So the fact that God already has ordained great success for you, just because something doesn't work out and doesn't go away according to the way you planned it, it doesn't mean that you should get somber. It doesn't mean that you should get negative. All right, I understand how people feel when things don't work out. You're ready to beat yourself up. You're ready to call somebody some names, whether it be you or the person that turned you down. I understand it. All right, I get it. You're ready to throw it all away because something didn't go your way. I understand. All right, been there, done that. Got several T-shirts. All right, you put in your all, you put in your best effort. It doesn't go according to your plan, and you're ready to throw in your hand because it doesn't go according to your plan. And sometimes it is even worse. Sometimes the pain is even worse. All right, you might even already have this position. You're outworking everybody, not by choice, but by force, because they're not picking up the slack. All right, they're standing around talking. You're working hard. You're doing the best you could do. Maybe one day you end up in there with an attitude and they don't like your attitude and they decide to let you go. But what they fail to realize is that through all the running of the mouth and all the diarrhea of the mouth and the mouth movements, all right, that they got going on, talking about people, talking about this one, that one, not paying attention to who's really a good employee. They're really just focused on who does or who doesn't fit in. That's what people care about today: who fits in and who doesn't. If you don't fit in, regardless of the type of work you put in, they may not continue to deal with you. So one day maybe you went up in there with an attitude because you realize you're the only one putting in work, and you think you're going to keep this job and just work and pay your little this and pay that and have enough money for rent and groceries and gas and haircuts and all this other stuff. And it's like, boom, they decide to just, we're not going to deal with you anymore. All because you showed them something natural. You gave them a little bit too much oomph one day when you told them about themselves. But the thing is, when things don't go according to your plan, you're not the only one who has a plan for you. God has ordained great success for you. God has a plan for you. And that plan is great success. That plan is that Jesus came here for you to have a more abundant life, for you to live in abundance. It's just a lot of things that people tend to forget in the heat of the moment, when you're mad, when you're upset, when you're dealing with lack, dealing with loss, dealing with disappointment. All right. These are the things that we tend to forget, but this is why it's good to stay grounded. And this is why it's good to have a sound mind. And this is why it's good to have a positive, optimistic mindset, because when things don't go wrong, you can make them go right in your mind. Just because things go wrong doesn't mean you have to go wrong with them. A lot of times things will go wrong, and people will go wrong right with the times. People will go wrong right with their things. All right, there are people who were flourishing during the Great Depression. There are people who are flourishing during times of economic downfall. Why? Because there was an economic downfall, they decided not to have a downfall in their economy, in their economics. All right, everyone has their own economy in their mind, but people will give up freely their idea of how they're going to live and how they view their life due to outward circumstances, media, news, um, reports on the economy and things like that. People give up their faith. So it's like, if you are weak enough to give up your faith because of an outward force, you might as well give up anyway. And I'm not calling anybody weak, but what I am calling out is, I'm calling you out right now for you to put away your weakness and to accept strength. Because if you could put your weakness to the side and accept mental strength, accept mental fortitude, accept the mental power that each of us were given and ordained to have righteously, then you can still move forward regardless of you being turned down for this or turned down for that, or not being accepted here, or not being hired there, or not being whatever it is that they wanted to do that had some type of effect on you that you needed to happen. Whatever it was that you planned for it to perfectly happen. All right, I know there are some people out there, all right, maybe you got a little perfectionism going on with you, and I understand, all right, but you don't need to be perfect. But I know you wanted that thing to work out perfect. But sometimes things don't work out perfect. Sometimes things don't work out at all. Sometimes plans will lead you to a downfall. All right. Sometimes you're down in the dumps because your plan is not it didn't turn out the way you want. So you have to have an optimistic mindset. You're not the only one who has a plan for your life. If you can develop an optimistic mindset, if you could work on creating an optimistic mindset for yourself, it doesn't matter what happens in your life. You're immediately going to be able to see it and recognize it as a test. You're going to have the mindset of that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And it's just a mindset that you have to develop, so that way when things go wrong, you won't go wrong with them. When things don't turn out the way you want, you can still turn out the way you want. It doesn't matter how things are, it matters how you are. Things can be however they want to be. All right, stock market crash, economic downfall, all right, Great Depression, inflation. Doesn't matter what those things, what happens with those things. All that matters is how you are, how you choose to live, how you choose to adapt. And how you choose to adapt is by changing your mindset and changing your frame of mind, all right, which will help alter your state of mind and your state of being. Doesn't matter how things are. All that matters is how you are, because the power of God in you is greater than any fact. All right, the fact that you may have got turned down, the fact that they may have let you go, the fact that they didn't want to give you a loan, the fact that they didn't want to help you even though you had the money to pay, the fact that they don't want your services, the fact that they don't want to provide you services. The facts of things not working out aren't as powerful as you being able to have a positive turnout in your life. So, I mean, it's really all about what you decide for yourself. Don't make a bad decision, and don't look at yourself as being less or not as good or not as great because something didn't work out. Just because something doesn't go the way you want doesn't mean your life won't go the way you want it to go. All right, so all you have to do is realize that you're a child of God and everything's going to work out for you, regardless of what may seem like it's not working out, regardless of what may seem like it's not going to turn out the way you want it to. All right, if you can realize that you are a child of God and he wants nothing but the best for you, you're going to get where you want to go in life. Things are going to happen to you according to God's plan for you. And things are going to happen for you too. Just because something is according to God's plan doesn't mean we're not allowed to plan things out and have things work for us. But when we plan things out and they don't work, that just means God has something better. All right, he only wants the best for you. Whatever little rinky-dink opportunity you were going to get from them, whatever crappy, piss poor leg up or bootleg opportunity or whatever you were going to get from them, all right, you might have opened that door for yourself and the hinges might have came off. And I know you're supposed to, if they lock you out, you're supposed to rip the hinges off the door. But if the door is unlocked and you open it, and if the handle pop off the door, you may not even want to stay inside there. That may be a sign. You open up a door, the handle come off. Does that happen all the time? No, that's the first time that happened. You may not want to stay there. I'm just keeping it real. You may not want to stay there. All right. So where you were going, you might have opened it. It might have been an open door. But once you open the door, the handle might have came off. All right. Anything that God has planned for you, when you open the door, the handle's not gonna come off in your hand. It's just not. All right. So when things don't go as planned, it's God's plan, because as his child, he wants nothing but the best for you. God doesn't want anything second rate for you. God doesn't want anything of lesser value for you. All right. God doesn't want you to just settle. God doesn't want you to just settle. All right. He doesn't want you to just take what's out there. Oh, it's there. Let me just take it. Oh, it's a job. Let me just apply for it. And this is why it's important for you to decide what it is you want. There are plenty of people who are upset at not having what they want, but they're not making any decisions towards what they want. They're just taking what's out there. They're just taking it because it's there. They're just taking it because it's easy. They're just taking it because, that's the first one they saw. Okay, sure, I'll take that. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Will it really work, or are you saying that it's going to work? And this is why a lot of people end up bent out of shape trying to force things. And this is why a lot of things will be difficult at times. All right, not saying life is just easy peasy the whole entire ride, but when things don't get better after a while and it feels like you just keep forcing something, that might mean that that's not for you. That might mean that's not what you're supposed to be doing with your time. It may mean you're wasting your time. So you may have to find something else better to do. But the good thing about it is keeping an open mindset, keeping an optimistic mindset, and knowing that there's always something out there better for you. Why? Because you're a child of God and he wants the best for you. It's not just something out there better because you didn't get that opportunity. It's not just something out there better because there's always something better out there, even though those things are true. But the main reason, because the reason why I'm stressing this last part, is because this is going to help you add some faith with it and help you add some belief with it. All right. And when you have faith and belief, you become unstoppable. Not only do you want it for yourself, but there's another force, there's a power out there that's stronger than you, that created you and everything around you. All right. that wants the best for you. And once you realize that, you know what, God is generous. God wants the best for me. I don't have to take the short end of the stick. I don't have to take what's out there. I could wait, be patient, might have to be without for a little bit, or however long God sees fit. But God will provide. Some things will come in between time, and I'll actually get what I want. You may not have everything that you feel you should have, but you'll be provided for. And you may not have more at that particular moment while you're waiting in a little rough period in the wilderness. You're waiting to be guided and directed and led in the right direction. All right, you're waiting to God to create that way for you. You're being patient. You're praying. You're focused. You can feel it coming to you. You see it. You see yourself as the one. All right, you're visualizing it. You feel the money pouring in your bank account. You see yourself sitting in the car. See yourself living in the home. It's worth the wait, and it's worth being patient. All right, you're supposed to wait on the Lord and be patient on the Lord. So in between time, while you're waiting and being patient, you're just supposed to be working on something, working towards becoming better, perfectionalizing whatever it is you want to do, honing your skill, honing your craft, figuring out ways to make your life better. That's what you're supposed to be doing in between time. So stay focused, don't give up, and realize that, I'm a child of God. There's always something out there better for me, because why? God wants the best for me because I'm his child. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Smash that like button, smash that share button. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell notifications. Any topics you'd like me to touch on, don't be afraid to comment them down below or on a community post. All right, peace, love, and light. I'll see all you beautiful people in the next video. We out.